Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. So we've got a Five of Pentacles. This is a card of change. This is a card of us trying to get in harmony with the process of change. Okay, so I think this really is, I feel like we got a laundry list of things we have to do in life. You know, I feel there's a lot kind of on your plate, a lot of things that need to be done, a lot of tasks that we sort of have toward a particular goal or in life in general. I feel like your to-do list keeps getting longer and longer and longer, right? I think you're somebody who likes to be active, likes to have things to do, but likes to have a purpose behind those things. You know, we're not just we're not spending energy just to spend energy. I think everything has a purpose behind it. You know, everything's kind of part of a larger plan, right? There may be some financial things that are kind of adding weight to your shoulders right now, okay? It feels to me like we're doing everything we can to work toward a resolution on those, to work toward the harmony. Because right after the 5 comes the 6, right? That success, that perfected state, that kind of best day ever. And it's not often that we get to that 6 of Pentacles, right? Where it feels like life is just, it's perfect. I've gotten done everything today that I could possibly have gotten done, and I feel great, and I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight. Those are the days we want, you know. But anytime we get a 5, we start looking for the 4, okay? So there is a tendency that when things start getting busy and chaotic and there's just so much to do, we sort of look for a way that we can just kind of, that we could return to a stability. It's almost like we want to take a step backwards to where it's safe. You know, we go outside and it's too people-y out here, so I just want to go back in the house and shut the door and sit down where it's, you know, I can be more calm, I can feel safer and more secure, right? So I think you're out here kind of taking risks. You're out here like doing things in the world. You know, you're putting forth effort to move toward your goals. Now, we need some context around this card, of course. It doesn't say too much on its own, but that we are trying to you know, work steadily toward the goals that we have. We're not working in a random, kind of chaotic way. It's rather orderly, but we're putting in the work. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on today. There's that 2, 2 of Wands. There's the fire. There's the serendipity. So we have a 2 of Wands. We have a Wheel of Fortune. You've got the Princess of Wands. Very good. A 9. See, that's good. That's us really getting toward our goals. That is like, you know, that's with the 9 of Pentacles. It feels like your world's kind of coming together. It feels like you're starting to notice that, okay, I'm making progress. Maybe it's a little bit at a time. Maybe it's not leaps and bounds, right? But it's incremental progress. It's step by step, and that feels good, right? What's our next card? Of course, it's an Ace of Cups, right? Because it feels good. It feels good to be making this progress and knowing that you've got destiny, luck, serendipity, kismet, synchronicity, spirit, heaven, whatever you want to say is on your side. Okay, you are, you know, you're sort of riding this Wheel of Fortune, and I think it really is, things are getting up, things are improving, right? I love the fire and the earth energy. We have fire, fire, earth, earth. You know, we don't see this very often, that there's such a kind of one-to-one ratio here, okay? But what I want to point out is that the control, the dominion of the 2 of Wands is what's really going to get you your success. The sort of impulsivity of a Princess of Wands is kind of like we have a sense of urgency, but we're just sort of doing random stuff. There's no There's no focus. There's no real like streamline or control with this. It's just kind of, and it's a 5, it's maybe contributing to more of the chaos of the 5 of Pentacles than it is actually resolving it. So the Princess of Wands is somebody who, does a lot of busy work, who has a laundry list of tasks and things they want to do that will help them get to their goal, right? Whatever that goal might be, whether it's a spiritual, physical, financial, romantic, family goal, friends, whatever, creative. But the Princess of Wands kind of gets distracted doing a lot of other things. The Princess of Wands is somebody who can burn thousands of calories every day, busy, busy, busy from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. But then you stand back and you say, what did you actually do? Vacuuming the same spot on the carpet, 100 times, or like washing the dishes over and over again, like just stuff that seems like, okay, that's not really focused. It's a lot of energy. I appreciate the effort, right? But, let's direct that in the right way. And that's what the Two of Wands is about. Putting all of that good, hardworking, busy, energetic, vibrant energy into the right things that are going to help us get to our goal, not go sideways, right? Not the kind of almost frantic energy. All right, so that's in your past, though, right? That was yesterday's energy. I think you're somebody who is very energetic. I think you have a sense of urgency about your life. You have this this kind of mantra in your head that says, do it now, do it now, do it now, right? Not tomorrow. What is it? Rocky, whatever Rocky movie. There is no tomorrow, right? I think was it Apollo Creed, right? There is no tomorrow. So we have this sense of doing it now. And we're doing it from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, and we lie in bed and we think, I had a good day. It feels good to make those. And even if what you're doing was cleaning up a mess, there was a challenge, and then you kind of had I got a mess to clean up. Okay, but you did it. You accomplished it. Now the next day you wake up and you're ready to get back to it. And it feels good. It feels satisfying to have that sort of an evening or whatever, to be able at the end of the day to look back and say, I did everything that I could today. Maybe it was a lot of just picking up the pieces and fixing things. Sometimes a 5 of Pentacles is saying some things are broken. We got to fix them. Okay? Let's fix them better. Let's not fix them, just sort of jerry-rig it so it sort of works, Sagittarius, if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, we'll put the rest of our cards on the table, and then we will talk about there's the 6 of Pentacles. Look at that. You got that feeling like every day is the best day of your life. That every day is a successful day. You've got that Empress, which is kind of a continuation from we're seeing our life grow in the direction we want, and now we're realizing that beautiful paradise is here now. That is stunning. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I mean, this is really stunning. This is uncanny. We have a Queen of Wands there and a Prince of Swords. So with the 3 court cards, I do feel like you're part of a team, you're part of a family, you're part of a group. There's other people around you that are either contributing to some of this work with you, or that you're maybe doing this in conjunction with or doing it for. Maybe it's your family or your kids or something, and you're doing this work for them. It could be that you're part of a team in your work or your career or your creative collaboration. It could be really that the Princess of Wands is somebody that that functions this way, where they're very busy, 8 hours of the workday or 12 hours in your workday, but at the end of the day, you're like, what did they really get done, right? Whether that's the old version of you or somebody that's old news, It's in the past. It's not something that you need to occupy yourself with. And the fact that we don't really have any swords cards, I know we have a prince there at the end, but we don't have a lot of swords cards. I don't think you're really trying to meddle in other people's drama or business, or if that's how they want to live their life, and that's fine. If this was how you were yesterday or last week or last year, well, That's fine. That's nothing. We don't need to lament that. We don't need to analyze that with the sword's energy, right? We don't need to pick it apart and dissect it. We certainly don't need to get down on ourselves for... I think what all of us could probably say is time that we've wasted in our life. Time that we were engaged in things that weren't really helping us do very much. It was still experience. It was still exercise, let's say, right? When I'm riding my recumbent bike, and yes, I'm talking about it in every video now. When I'm riding my recumbent bike, after I do my readings, I go upstairs, I ride the bike for 30, 40 minutes or so. I'm not getting anywhere. I'm putting in 10 miles I ride. I'm not going anywhere. I didn't get to the store. I didn't get to the park. I literally didn't move, right? But it's still exercise, right? So it's a lot of activity, but it's not a lot of progress. But there is progress in there. It's just subtle. I feel worn out at the end of it, right? But I don't feel necessarily in that moment that I did anything, that I made any sort of progress, right? And so we need to forgive ourselves if this is you or if this is another person, that, hey, you know what? They're having an experience. At least they're up and moving around. Being busy but being unfocused is better than just kind of sitting down and not doing anything. Because once somebody's up and moving around, then it's, it means that it's possible to sort of take our Two of Wands and redirect them toward productive things, right? So if this was you yesterday, or if this is a coworker or a family member or a friend, at least they're up and moving around. So they're getting exercise. Now it's just a matter of channeling that toward the progress. And so we don't have the swords cards. We're not worried about it. We're not stressing. There's no stress here, right? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're going to set it down right here with Mr. Ed, our tiny horse. And now we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction, please put that in the comments too. Okay. The more comments, the better. It helps with the channel and it pushes it in the algorithm. And I love reading the comments. I think I've been doing better about responding to as many as I can. When I'm riding the bike, that's what I'm doing. I'm responding to comments, but I love reading all of your comments. It's the highlight of the work that I do here. Even the critical comments, which I do get, and I like those too. But let's look around the room. The major arcana really tells the story. Through being on this wheel of fortune and realizing that we can turn our lives around, that we can ascend, we can rise, we can achieve more and more prosperity, is the realization of this, the reliance on this, right? It's kind of saying if we're putting in all of our effort and we're enjoying the process, that we can say at the end of the day that I feel good about what I did today, then Spirit's going to kick in and we're going to get that little bit of luck that's going to make the entire difference. And we're changing our world. Even that Empress is in the position of the environment for you. You're creating your own paradise. With Spirit's help, of course. But you're creating your best life. This is the Big Rock Candy Mountain. Right, and you're traveling there sort of one day at a time, one step at a time. Even if those are baby steps, even if some of those days you're just cleaning up a mess or fixing something, you're still making that progress toward that Big Rock Candy Mountain. It's a long journey, but we're going to arrive there. And I think the realization is that it's here now. It's not about the destination. It's about feeling satisfied. It's about feeling now. Satisfaction is a difficult word too. Because sometimes satisfaction implies a 4. Maybe it implies a 4 of cups, or a 4 of pentacles, or a 4 of wands. If you're satisfied, you stop, right? When your stomach is satisfied, your appetite is satisfied, what do? You stop eating, right? So satisfaction is I want to say a dangerous word. We don't want to be satisfied, right? Because then it just means there's nothing left for me to do, right? And maybe the Empress energy is saying that we've arrived at a certain place where we've satisfied, we've gotten everything off of our to-do list, right? We've satisfied all of our ambitions, all of our goals in life. we've satisfied all of our sort of long-term plans and desires, then what do we do, right? Then who do we become? Well, I think most of us would just start a new to-do list. I want more things. Maybe I want to see different things. Maybe I want to start painting. Maybe I want to learn about art. Maybe I want to learn about science. Maybe I want to, maybe I want to get into running. I don't think for me, but maybe for you. So we're always going to have something to strive for. We're never fully satisfied with life. Okay? It's the human condition. No matter what we have, we want more. Okay? And the idea here is that we're pleased, I guess, with ourselves, or we are satisfied. I don't know what other word to use, right? There is a kind of joy. It feels good, let's just say that. It feels good at the end of the day to know that we've had a day where I did the best I could. I pushed myself, I got a lot of things done. And only we can answer this question. When you go to bed at night, do you feel good about your day? Even if your day was just cleaning up messes and fixing things that were broken. We can still feel good about the day. And tomorrow we're going to wake up hungry again. We may go to bed satisfied. We wake up hungry. Trust me, happens every day, right? And so I think that's very important too. And that's why the Empress is the representative of that best life, because the Empress is an organic, growing, dynamic kind of energy. It's giving, it's taking, it's giving, it's taking, it's doing, it's resting and observing. It's also running forward. It's nature, right? We think of nature as, it's this static thing. It's always growing and dying, higher, lower, up and down. It's this interplay of opposites, right? That is the world. It's very, very Taoist, very yin-yang, right? And I like it. And we've got our fire, fire, fire. We've got our water. Front and center is that water. And there's no limit to how deeply this well can go. All right. So we got our water, and we've got a very little bit of air, which is... I think the air is kind of, it's our ability to always be adding to that to-do list. And of course we have our earth and earth and earth. We have a 5, right? That's not going back to a 4. We're not retreating. We're not slowing down and stopping and thinking, I can't do it anymore. We're not just going back in the house and sitting down on the couch. We're hitting that 6 of Pentacles, where at the end of the day, the thing is fixed. At the end of the day, the mess is cleaned up. We didn't leave till tomorrow something that we could be doing, we could have done today. And of course, then we're starting to see, the 6, the 9, things are progressing, and we realize that over time, hey, my life is getting better. Things are improving. My financial stuff, I'm doing it, even if I'm just like putting $1 a day toward my debt, or $1 away into the savings account, or the retirement account, or the vacation fund, or whatever it is. Even if it's 50 cents, even if it's a penny a day, right? That is more than yesterday. So I think this is very, very good energy for you. The 2 of Wands is your ability to direct your energy, direct your behavior to the way that we can control ourselves, right? This is dominion. What is within your domain? What is your right and duty to control? There are things that we cannot control outside of ourselves. We can't control what other people do. We can't control who we were yesterday or who that person might be. But we can control our energy right now, here, today. And what I can do today is, I can do something. I can work. I can do something on my to-do list, right? I can try to focus my energy, and I can say, all right, let's do it now, right? We can control whether we are going to just stay sitting down and wait till tomorrow to do it, or if we say, I might as well get up and do it now. There are times when I'm about to go to bed at night, and then there's, I don't know, there's just something that's kind of on my mind that says, I forgot to do that today. Well, I could just do it tomorrow. And I think, no, because I'm not going to sleep until I do it. So I get out of bed, I get my robe back on, get my slippers on, and I go downstairs or whatever. I go outside or whatever, and I do it. Maybe I forgot to park the car, or I don't know, whatever it is. I forgot to get my computer out of the car. It's in the garage or whatever. And I'm not going to be able to sleep until I do it now. because then we feel like we didn't leave anything till tomorrow. If it pops into our minds and we think, I got to do that, well, I'll do it tomorrow. We force ourselves to sleep. And I think you're the type of person that will get up and do it now. And you're always looking, see, the fire and earth, you're always looking for something that needs to be done. So, the time that we're spent awake, I don't feel like you have a lot of downtime. I think that the Empress and the Ace of Cups is sort of suggesting that, you have to do you have to schedule in or plan in some rest and relaxation. It's a reminder, I think, the Empress and the Ace, that when you do things for yourself, the self-care things, we don't have to look at them as tasks on the to-do list. Okay, I ate, check that off the list. I used the toilet, check that off the list. Those kinds of things, I think we have to really, those are the moments we have to slow down, and we have to be present, and we have to allow that, we have to eat mindfully, and slowly, and chew the food and taste the food, because that's going to restore us. That's going to help us to feel good, And if we feel good, then we just feel like, okay, I've worked my butt off all morning. Now it's lunchtime. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to eat slowly. I'm going to relax in the chair, Maybe I'll put my feet up a little bit. I'm going to, take off the shoes or something. And I'm really going to enjoy this moment that I have, because when I'm done eating, I might sit here for a minute and let my food digest, but then I get up and we're back at it. Okay? So we have this sense of urgency, but we need to be able to turn it off when at certain points. And I think the Two of Wands is perfect for that, because it is kind of a card that says we're in control. We can turn it on and off at will. Okay? Or that's what we're working toward. But you're definitely somebody that likes to find problems and messes and clean them up, because then it's like, okay, that's done, and now I can make progress on these other things that we're doing. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune underneath everything, this is divine timing. This is saying that, look, if we're in harmony with the process of creation on the physical plane, right, with our six, which you are, the six, these two cards are very close together. They share a very similar energy. If you're living in harmony with the world around you and with your energy and your work and what you're supposed to be doing and the way you're doing it, it feels as if things really fall into place, right? It feels as if there may be a mess to clean up, something that's broken, but you'll clean it up, you'll fix the thing, and then as you move forward to the next thing on your list, it seems like everything is there perfectly aligned for you. It's almost like the spill or the broken thing didn't interrupt the timing of things, right? It's like Spirit kind of pushed everything back, so everything was still in alignment for you. That the domino that fell didn't knock the rest of the dominoes over. And so when you get to the next one, everything's still there, like ready for you. And that's really it's a kind of a synchronistic feeling, where it's just like, you feel like you're in the flow, And if you stop and think about it too much, or if your energy gets a little wily like back here, then maybe we don't feel like we're in the flow so much. We don't feel as if the universe is kind of pacing itself with us, or us to the universe, however you want to look at it. It feels like we're in the same sort of cadence as the universe. And I think this is the way that we really are able to get things done. And it feels like you're able to get things done so quickly and so efficiently. And it's mostly you with a little bit of Spirit sprinkled in, because I think that if it appears that there's a cascading thing, that there's one so-called problem in the morning sort of ruins the whole flow of the day, that kind of says that, well, I'm out of sync with the universe, right? It's kind of like you have some issue in the morning, like there might be, I don't know, there might be some kind of small disaster in the morning before we take our daughter to school, right? My wife and I got a 4-year-old daughter. there might be some minor disaster in the morning, right? That needs my attention, and then it sort of feels like, okay, great. Well, now she's going to be late to school, and now there's going to be all these other things, and then it's going to sort of cascade down. But then it's the idea of, okay, wow, she wasn't late to school because, somehow, I don't know, traffic was less. Miraculously, there was no traffic that day, so I was able to get there on time. It was sort of everything works like clockwork, but usually there's a lot of traffic. Well, it's going to take me 30 minutes to get her to school, but for some reason today it took 15 because there was no traffic. It's like that's sort of seems like a miracle. It sort of seems like, okay, thank you, because the day could have been pretty bad. Just examples like that. It's kind of, Spirit giving you a lot of green lights to help you get to where you need to go and be there on time. You're going for a job interview, but you got a mustard on your tie or something, right? And so you have to take the time to figure out a different tie and what you're going to wear, and that puts you 5 or 10 minutes late for the interview. Okay, but then you get a lot of green lights. You get there on time anyway, or you get there late, but the person, the manager that you're going to talk to or something, they're late, and they don't know that you were late. You were sitting there when they got there, so you're like, I'm good. It's little things like that that make us feel like the universe has my back. And I think that you have that feeling in you. You know that to be true. You've had that experience. Yeah. The 9 of Pentacles up top here, that really is about the progress that you're finding moving toward your goals and what you are really trying to achieve. And I think your world is starting to look the way you want it to look, whether that's physically, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, creatively, whatever it is. I think that there is an old friend that's sort of coming back into your life. I don't know who that person is. I don't know if this is somebody you used to work with, but somebody's going to reach out to you in the next few days. And I think it's going to be a nice surprise. Someone you haven't heard from in a long time, but it's going to be like, wow, hi, how you doing? And I don't know if they're in the same field. Again, I don't know if it's like an old coworker or something like that, but someone's going to reach out to you and just say hi. I think that's going to feel good. And sometimes that's what the Aces of Cups are. Just little rewards, little nice things that happen in your life that just make you feel, wow. It gives me that warm, fuzzy feeling, and not really related to what I'm doing in life. It's not like, I put in 80 hours of work every week and I get a paycheck. Well, that's a nice reward too. But this is something a little bit extra where it's just like your boss says, hey, I put a little extra in there for you, or why don't you go ahead and take tomorrow off paid? Don't worry about it. It's like, oh, wow, cool. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I will definitely take that. Little things like this where it's just, I don't know, you're getting coffee and, it just so happens that the barista made a mistake on one of the coffees. So they say, hey, your coffee is, it's on the house. Don't worry about it. It's like, oh, that's a nice little surprise in life, and it's things like this that start happening more and more when you realize that you're on the path, you're in harmony, you're not complaining, you're not stuck in the past and sort of what a lot of us do, lamenting how much time, energy, effort, and money we've wasted on things that haven't been leading us to our best life. We can't think that way. Let's not go down that road, okay? Yesterday doesn't exist, and tomorrow may not come, okay? So we do what we can do today, and we appreciate the life we have now. We appreciate even the little baby step we made today. Even if today we didn't really make a lot of progress because we've just been cleaning up messes, it's still okay. Over the long term, as we look at each day, we can see that there's progress. And that's what the 9 of Pentacles is. It's gain. It's feeling that we are gaining something. It's the feeling that we're seeing some sort of visible sign of progress here. Okay. So what we're gaining might be something very subtle. It might just be experience, right? We might be gaining just a little bit of joy, a little bit of encouragement. We might be gaining big step today. I made a lot of progress today, got a lot of stuff off that to-do list. Or it might be I had to add a bunch of things to my to-do list, and I checked some things off. The list didn't really get shorter, but some things did get accomplished, right? That's progress too. Okay. And again, with the Ace of Cups, it's that good feeling. And it just feels good to be in this way of life. All right. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. Let's talk about the path of the serpent, your general energy. The 6 of Pentacles. Material success. This is the feeling that you're a successful person. You may not be where you want to be. Financially, you may still be hungry. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, creatively, you may still be hungry for more. You may not be, satisfied yet, but that doesn't mean that you are not successful. Every day can be a successful day. Every day can be the best day of our lives. Every day can be a success. And this is the feeling, again, it goes with these two. This is the feeling at the end of the day that today was a successful day. I cleaned up a bunch of messes. Maybe I got more mess, tomorrow. My wife and I, we did, for the holidays, we invited a bunch of friends over and all their kids to decorate Christmas cookies, And my wife was really stressing out. You go say hi to my wife. She's over at Ula Tea Leaf Readings. Don't tell her that I told you this story. But she was really stressed out about this little get-together that we were having. We were expecting like 20 people, right? And all these kids and my wife and our daughter too baked a bunch of cookies, right, for everybody to decorate. We got food, everything. We're ready. In the morning time we geared up and we thought it was going to be a heck of a day, right? And well, it turns out that a lot of those families had to cancel. There's one of our friends there. Their son is in the hospital right now, dealing with some very serious things, and they do need all the prayers that they can get right now. But a lot of families couldn't make it. Weather in some places, family issues in other places, and so it just turns out that there's only one family that could arrive. And we were kind of, my wife and I were kind of worried that this is going to be a failure. This is going to be a disaster. This is going to really be, it's going to be weird. It's a family we don't really know very well. But at the end of the day, we realized that this thing had disaster written all over it, right? Everybody canceled, and our daughter was starting to feel kind of let down that her friends weren't all going to be there. But it was such a successful day. Because we managed the problems, we dealt with the issues, and it wasn't a lot of chaos. It actually turned out to be a lot better with those variables, with the unknown. We didn't expect people to cancel. We were thinking, well, no one's going to show up, and it's just going to be, what are we going to do instead? And this other family, wonderful people, they came. We had a great time. And my wife and I, at the end, when we were going to bed, we said, you know what, that was the best day ever. It seemed like it was going to be a disaster. We woke up stressed out, and it was so much nicer to just have a small, just us and the other family and their kids. And it was such a wonderful experience. It was better than what we had been planning for. What we'd been planning for, my wife and I would have been running around all over the house trying to, keep everything going, because our house would have been packed full of people, right? So this was very nice, And this was, at the end of the day, we said, that was a good day. And we want to do it again, Even though there were challenges, there was a lot of stress, and we were arguing in the morning because it was stressful. We were thinking everybody's going to get here in any minute now, and it's just going to be, it's going to be a whirlwind. But anyway, I digress. The issue here is about, feeling that every day is a successful day. Now, when we're in the moment, when we're here trying to control ourselves and apply our energy and just get things done, take care of what's in the moment that we can do, doing today what we sometimes want to put off till tomorrow, doing the thing we need to do, and not invoking our swords cards or our negative emotions, right? Not sort of stressing on it, because that takes away time and energy, doesn't it? It's just a matter of doing what needs to be done, keeping a cool head, and at the end of the day, it feels good, right? It feels good that we did it, It's kind of like, when I was driving for a living, I used to drive a car all day, every day, right, for work. Sometimes the car would break down. I'd get a flat tire, and I think, oh, God. And I'd pull over to the side, and I'd get all dirty, fixing the tire. And I've changed a lot of tires in my life. And it was just then the rest of my day was all kind of, it was out of sync, or so it felt. And some days I would just be stressed. I would be lamenting it. I would just be so frustrated. And then I would end up just the rest of the day would just be out of whack. And I would go home and I'd just be like, that was a miserable day. I'm so glad the day's over. I hated that. Frustrated, and get very poor sleep that night and have to get up and do it again the next day. But then other days I'd be like, oh, flat tire. Okay, well, I guess I just get to get out of the car and stretch a little bit and do some activity before I get back in and have to keep driving for hours, And so it's really a different attitude. And then, you fix the tire, you don't really complain, you do what you got to do, you get back in the car, you drive, and it says, oh, great, I'm not late for my next appointment. They're actually, they were late, or we had the time wrong, and it was actually half an hour later, so it didn't put me off the schedule at all, And even if it did, well, that's okay. You walk in, you apologize. I had a flat tire, and usually people are like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And then you continue on with your day, and at the end of the day, you think, wow, that was a very interesting day. It was very successful. I had this big problem. I fixed it, and the rest of the day was fine, and it was a good day. And it feels good to have the problem and to fix the problem and to do what you got to do to sort of stay in sync with the day, and then you go to sleep at night and it feels good. And I think it's all about this Empress energy. It's all about understanding that the world is give and take, and that if we put in positive energy to the world, we're going to get positive energy back most of the time. Now, nothing is absolute, right? But the Empress is kind of like we're living that best life. We're living the good life here because it feels good. Even though there are disasters, there are things that we have to fix, messes we have to clean up, life feels good. And now we deal with these two court cards at the end. I think, first of all, the princess to the queen seems like it's a maturing of the energy. It seems like this is somebody who's very confident and very energetic, but not so frenetic. Over here is just a lot of movement, a lot of chaos. Over here is somebody who's very poised, right? This is somebody who perhaps contrasted with this one. This one burns a lot of calories, doesn't get a lot done. This one burns very few calories, gets a lot done. Okay, and I think that it's sort of learning the economy of motion, the economy of effort, and it's a way that we can sort of preserve our health in a way and preserve our vitality, because we don't need to burn thousands of calories, petting the dog or something, right? It doesn't have to be this kind of frenetic thing. We think of we think it's a princess. We think of kids, right, who are just bouncing off the walls all day long and running in circles around the couch doing laps. And that's a lot of activity because they have all that energy and they need to burn it off, right? As adults, I think we sort of, we try to be economical in the way we use our energy, yeah? But there is something to be said about the Princess of Wands. Because this is the card, this is the energy that we don't want. This is in the obstacle, okay? And as the obstacle, yes, it makes sense because we're trying to be efficient, we're trying to be sort of calm and assertive in our energy, but not be wasteful of our energy. But there's also something very playful in the Princess of Wands, and it is sort of that childlike energy where we just want to run around. We just want to go do laps around the couch for no reason other than it feels good to move our bodies. It feels good to have that kind of energy and be able to use it on something, right? And so we realize that this is not a bad thing, and that's why there's no swords cards here that are sort of picking this apart and poking holes in this and thinking, well, I used to be that person. Well, we still are that person a little bit. I think that we have to be willing to be flexible. We have to be able, like the Two of Wands might suggest, we have to be able to shift. Am I being very economical? Is it about the maximum results with the least amount of effort? To conserve my effort so I can keep doing more and more and keep going? Or is now the time where I just really want to run wild and I don't care if I get anything done. I just want to move, and I just want to have energy, and I just want to release all this energy. And maybe this can be channeled into playing outside, playing with your kids, playing with the dog, just going outside and running, right? Doing some kind of a sport or a martial art, which does have benefits too. And I guess martial arts is also usually about the conservation of energy or the economy of motion. But this is just like you're just going wild on the punching bag or something. It's just to have that sort of exhaustion, that physical exhaustion from these kind of bursts of activity. So we need that too. Okay? Because I think if we have a day where we get a lot done, but we don't sweat, or we don't have that kind of that explosion of energy, then I don't know. Are we going to go to bed and feel like, wow, that was a good day? So I think we need a little bit of that too. And the Prince of Swords, really it's all about balance, because it's a swords card, yes, but it's double air, right? The princes are the air quality of the, I guess not the air quality, but the air element of the suit that they're in. So this is air of air. And that it kind of tells me that there's a balance. It tells me that you're efficient, and you're economical, and you're focused, and you're almost stoic in a way. And you are cleaning up the messes, you're fixing the things, you're making progress, and that feels good, and it feels like every day is the best day. But the other side of you still wants to have that kind of free time, free play, the explosion of energy, just the frenetic, exercise. You want to run wild a little bit, and have that time to just kind of, I don't know. I kind of just feel like we're outside running around, that we're just we're doing something in a very, very active and unreserved way. And that's the sort of balance, I think, that really, it exhausts us physically, but we also have the satisfaction that I'm able to control that. And that's, again, that Two of Wands, that on-off switch, to be able to go from very reserved, focused, intentional power, right? It's kind of like you got the torque, but then you also have the horsepower. And it's also that I can go full speed ahead when I need to, and it doesn't matter that it's sort of I'm wasting gas. Sometimes we like to floor it and drive kind of fun for a while, right? Only on a closed course, only if you're a professional driver, that sort of thing. Let's look at the mystery card here. I think this is extraordinary energy for you. All these are such good cards. I don't know what I'm expecting for the mystery card. I think more cups, right? Let's just have more cups. Let's have a 6, 9, 10 of cups. I feel it might be a sword, though. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Oh, it's the Hermit. Okay, the Hermit. The Hermit is always looking forward. The Hermit does not look backwards. With the Hermit, excuse my voice. With the Hermit, back there is dark. See? Dark back there. The light is up here. The light is shining forward to show you what's this way. So we don't worry about what's behind us. We don't worry about what's next to us. We just focus on our path. Okay? And your path is your own path. And this is kind of like, at the end of the day, nobody has to be satisfied with you but you. Nobody has to say you had a good day but you. Okay? And you're the only person that, your opinion is the only opinion that matters. Because I think you are going your own way. You are an arrow shot from a bow. You're not worried about what's going on around you. Yeah, you have to sort of take into account the wind, the crosswind, the opinions of others. You have to be ready to withstand that and go your own way. Do your own thing. You are on your own path to live and to create and to arrive at your very own big rock candy mountain. Yeah, your paradise. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius, Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. I I'm going to be gone for a couple of days. I have to actually go to the big hospital over here for my yearly liver transplant checkup day, which is really 3 days of tests and pokes and prods and scans and stuff like that. But I will have readings that are going to come out on those days. Okay. So don't worry about that. They might be a little shorter than usual, but there'll still be, your readings will still be there. So be sure to watch both of those, Wednesdays and Sundays. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment if you haven't yet. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.